I don't think there's much anti-Semitism in this country. The rest of the world, yes, using Israel as the so-called cause of it, but down deep, I believe it's just anti-Semitism.
It's not that they hate us, it's just we're just different in this, like appalled by the differences. Because we're not with them, we're just separate with them, and that makes the outcast, basically. This is what I think.
I do not think that Christianity is anti-Semitic. I just think that they're just a little bit confused.
There's been negative feelings toward the Jews from the beginning.
I think if you ask a person, why would you hate someone who's Jewish? You know, some of them will say, oh, well, the Jews killed Jesus. Well, you know, that's a cop-out answer to me.
Our people have been persecuted for millennia in various forms.
There are some fundamentalist Christians and Jews who believe that Jewish guilt is actually the cause of anti-Semitism. In other words, because it's written in the Torah that if we would obey God, He would bless us, but if we would disobey, we'd be cursed. That means all the things we've suffered have been our own responsibility. But the hatred against us has been too vile, too intense, too ugly to be explained by divine judgment alone. Unless you want to tell me it was because of divine judgment that the Nazis threw little Jewish babies into burning pits alive so as to save the expense of a bullet. Look, even within the Hebrew Bible, God was angry with the nations that He used to judge His people. It says in Zechariah, the 1st chapter, that God was angry with the surrounding nations. He said, I was only a little angry with my people, but you added to the calamity. In other words, you went too far. So what's the explanation for anti-Semitism? I believe there is a malignant, intelligent, spiritual being who hates the Jews and wants to wipe them out. In other words, Satan himself. And as outlandish as talk of Satan may seem to some, it's the only explanation that connects all the dots. Anti-Semitism is truly devilish. I've actually tested this theory out at special lectures at leading universities like Yale and Columbia, and no one has come up with a better answer. You see, God chose the Jewish people to be His agents of redemption, and through them the knowledge of the one true God has gone to the ends of the earth. And God said that despite our sins and failures, we would never, ever be wiped out. So what does that tell us? Satan's trying to wipe us out, he's trying to destroy us, and he hates the message of God. Look, Jesus himself is a Jew, and through Jesus, millions of people love God and worship Him, and therefore the devil hates the Jews. And the Bible even says that it's going to be the Jewish people in Jerusalem who welcome Jesus back. All the more reason for satanic anti-Semitism. Very simple, very true. The Jews have been chosen with a mission by God. Satan hates it and wants to destroy us. It is a profound but simple truth. I believe that part of what makes the Jewish people special is that we've been chosen by God. We're not better or worse than anybody, but we have a mission. And we have a mission to make God known to the whole earth, to make His ethical culture and truth known. And Jesus, the Jew, is the most famous Jew in the whole world. And through Jesus, hundreds of millions of people believe in God, right? So if there was a force or a power or a being that would hate the Jews and that would hate God, who would that be? Supernatural explanation.
I think that history is, you know, it's going back and repeat the story. This is the thing. It's coming around. If you look in the Bible and, you know, and start looking since Amalek and after that the Egyptians, and after that all the parts of the people
keep trying to wipe out.
Yes.
The Jews. So, you know, in the prophet Jeremiah, God said, no matter what Israel does, I'm going to keep you. I'm going to preserve you. So who is it that keeps trying to wipe the Jewish people out? Century after century, this culture, this religion, that religion. Who's trying to wipe us out? Who hates us so much?
I think it's, again, I think that it's ignorance. People that it's ignorant, that they don't have culture. We have a very strong line to go. And you know, we don't move outside the line that we know that it's our line.
Right.
And this is like jealousy of the people that why they are going so straight,
right,
and the rest of the people is not going.
I appreciate that. Yep.
It's not like that.
I understand. So,
and also as a community inside Israel and outside Israel, we're strong, and it keeps us stronger because we have our own state.
And
also.
so that brings more
and we
hatred.
Support Israel, and we support Jews outside Israel. We support each other all the time.
All right. I don't believe there's a purely rational answer for it. It's too long, it's too intense, it's too irrational, it's too widespread. All these little theories are here, 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 there. Nothing connects all the dots. I believe it's actually supernatural, that it's spiritual, that the Jewish people, what makes us different is that we were chosen by God for mission, not better or worse than anybody else, just with a specific mission, and it's to bring the knowledge of God to the whole world. Jesus himself is a Jew, and 1/3 of the world's population calls itself Christian and believes in God through him. So if there's a real spiritual world, real spiritual forces, who is it that would hate that? Who is it that would hate the Jews, and who is it that would try to wipe them out? If God said to the Jewish people, it's in the Bible, no matter what you do, I'm going to preserve you. Nobody's ever going to wipe you out. So who's going to try to make God look like a liar and is going to fight salvation going to all the world? Who would that be?
Have to be the devil.
The devil. What do you think about that? I don't know your background at all.
I mean, it's possible. I guess it'd be really hard to prove or disprove, though.
Think about it. Anti-Semitism is absolutely diabolical. But it's not so much because of the Jews themselves. It's because of God's purposes for the Jews and because Jesus the Messiah was a Jew. You say, yeah, but the church itself has been anti-Semitic. Listen, it's only when the church disconnected from its Jewish roots that it became anti-Semitic. That's another perversion of history. You see, the New Testament's a Jewish book. It tells us the story of Jesus, the Jew, who was falsely accused and persecuted and hated and rejected and tortured and murdered in cold blood, even though he was completely innocent. He's the ultimate hated Jew, and he can relate to us in our sufferings because he himself experienced baseless hatred. And the ultimate anti-Semitic ploy is to keep us Jews from rightly connecting with Jesus the Jew, because when we do, we usher in his return, and that means it's all over for the devil and his work. So the best thing you can do to put an end to anti-Semitism is to put your trust in Jesus, Yeshua, and help bring back our King. It'll be a bad day for anti-Semites everywhere when the King of the Jews comes back.
Can you make any connections between the hate towards Israel and Jews and the theories on Jews ruling the world?
Well, the theories of Jews ruling the world are just false. I mean, Jews don't rule anything. They're hardly even allowed to rule Israel without the world interfering. So Jews don't rule anything. But all of that goes back to your question earlier about the devil, right? If the devil, Satan, his name means the adversary, right? God says that Israel's the apple of his eye. He loves the Jewish people. Well, if God's going to love a people, then Satan is going to hate that people. And so the devil is behind a lot of the satanic and anti-Semitic actions throughout Israel.